What we doing, man?
Trying to figure it all out.
Hey, we figure this out. We gonna be rich, bro. We gonna be rich, bro.
Then I can get that chain like yours when I get rich. Get that chain from Dubai.
You get it, then keep it tucked. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Oh man. Yeah, man. You know, it's just this is a time, bro, where I feel like it's a great time. What is it? Charles Dickens, it's the best of times and the worst of times. You know?
I can feel that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the best of times in that we can't calculate how tragedy serves as a benefit.
Yeah.
Or can. How it can.
Yeah.
If
I don't like that, but it's
not.
true.
It's a hard reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can really serve as a benefit on so many different levels. I think about when James said, you know, think it not strange when you face different types.
Yeah, various.
Yeah. From within and without.
Yeah.
Trials and temptations. For the testing of your faith produces perseverance, and perseverance, once she has had her perfect work. Works in us completeness and wholeness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at any rate, it's just a very fascinating time, you know, and that's part of the reason why there are no clear cut answers. Is because it is the best of times and the worst of times all at the same time. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I get it.
I
get it.
Yeah, I get it. I don't like it.
You feel me? No, I'm hearing you.
But I think that part of the challenge that we have trying to navigate through a time like this is finding agreement, because everybody, people in power, political leaders, you know, the ecclesiastical order, clergymen, thought leaders, influencers, everybody has an answer. Everybody has a view. Everybody has a perspective.
Yeah.
And everybody is solid on what they believe. And what happens is we end up, when we have contradictory values or beliefs, we end up in this tension, you know. We end up in this war with one another. And what I've been trying to figure out and think through is how to live with our deepest differences. You know, just think about it. That right now, everything is, it's always been this way, but it's just highlighted now.
Right.
It's swollen.
It's
It's magnified
You know
now. It's like, do you watch Fox News or CNN? Are you Democrat or Republican? Are you, do you wear face mask or no face mask? You know, like, that's an actual thing.
Yeah, it is.
Like, do you wear a face mask or not is a thing. It's been politicized.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, BLM the organization or BLM the movement. Like, there's no win here. It's like, how do we live with our deepest differences? If you had to try to provide anybody with at least one answer to that question, what would you say?
I would say the answer lies in something that makes Christians very uncomfortable, which, and I guess I can't say that as a universal blanket statement, but I feel like I can. So you'll sort of weigh in the scales what I'm about to say. The universality of the human experience needs to rule the day. So when we disagree on so many things, I feel like we have to penetrate to the most universal principles in the world that we all can agree on.
Kind of the lowest common denominator.
The lowest common denominator. And I do realize that is even a tall task,
right?
Trying to find what are those principles, because they seem to be called into question at every point. So, so I would think that putting a knee on the neck of George Floyd would be something that would outrage everybody, right? I'm like, ain't this a universal principle?
Yeah,
that's bad. To which somebody replied to one of my tweets, yeah, but if you consider the fact that he was spending a counterfeit 20, how that would affect the store owner and then in return the economy. And I'm like, man, your heart broke that way? Like your heart broke in the direction of the economy and the counterfeit consequence for the local market, the corner store, right? And when you got to weigh in the balance of what is the most universal principle in this given circumstance right in your face, that's the way your heart broke. So that's why I say I thought it was an easy task to sort of chisel down to the bedrock of what are the bare basic things that all humans can agree upon. And I found that those things are even being challenged. So saying that to say it's a hard question, but I think that's the answer though. I think the answer still is, if we're going to be agreeable in a pluralistic society where you pray to Allah, I pray to Yahweh, you pray to Jesus, who's the incarnate Yahweh, you pray to multiple gods, you don't pray at all. What universal principles do we all share in common? Yes, I will have to relinquish some of my things to exist alongside of you, but is that okay? Does that threaten my religious construct? And if it doesn't, then I should be okay for, waiving that right for the good of us all. That's where I think the answer lies. And I think the struggle is
finding that.
Yeah. Finding that. But if that's not the answer, I literally don't know what else it would be. I literally don't know what else it would be.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking now, what else could somebody say living with our deepest differences? I guess it would be maybe something like dialogue.
Yeah.
Right?
I think conversation without intent to convert. You know what I mean?
In general, or you saying from the Christian
general,
out?
In general.
In general. Us.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think conversation with, in other words, if I'm a masker and you're a no masker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that we should be able to have, like, I think that what I think one of our biggest challenges is the inability to disagree without dividing. I think we think those two are synonymous.
Okay.
Like that, it seems like we think that the only logical outworking of disagreement is division, and I don't think has to be the case. I think that's one thing, because the issue is not that we disagree. I think we disagree, and even in the eternal state, right? We don't have to be in agreement. We're not sinning when we disagree, right? Because I see it differently. That doesn't mean that I'm in sin. So yeah. I don't think that that's something that we lose, as we, transition, know what I'm saying, into the eternal state. I think that's still there. So to disagree in and of itself is not problematic. How we disagree, the goal of disagreement, I think is what we have to really, we have to take a step back and really think through, because if we could learn to disagree without dividing, that's always the issue. Like, even when Paul the Apostle is addressing the church of Corinth, like, the thing that he said made them carnivorous, primal, in the way that they were conducting themselves, it was not fornication or adultery. It was, y'all got schisms and divisions about who's the best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's the issue. When Paul the Apostle is talking, I think, what is it? I think it's the church in Rome. And I think he gets to the end, I think it's chapter 14. And he's talking to them. Somebody thinks that the Sabbath day is, more holy than that literally, when you read that whole thing, his conclusion is, let God deal with them. Like, all of us got to stand before God on all of this stuff. Let God, they're all right. Like, it's not your job. It's almost like the wheat and the tare. It's like, it's not your job to convert them. Yeah. Like, it's your job to have a conversation with them. Yeah. it's your job to, I think it's okay to maybe attempt to persuade. We talk to each other in a way that like, I want to tilt you this way, but it's not my goal to ultimately win you to my side on this issue. And I think if we have more conversations where we could walk away and say, you know what, agree to disagree, and it'd be a real like, and that doesn't mean agree to divide on this issue.
That's important. I think if I can narrow this down a bit, to the Christian, right? And back to my earlier statement, this is sort of uncomfortable for Christians. I think you're helping me as I'm thinking out loud, thinking it through out loud. Is to see one of the struggles is to embrace the reality that God is okay with you being for the good of humanity without it turning to a gospel moment.
Religious, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's where the conscience wrecks people when they feel like, man, all I did was talk with this guy about, you know, how to get a job. And they feel like they failed in that conversation because they didn't pivot and share the gospel with that person. So then we sort of carry that principle in the voting booth. We carry that principle in what news channel we watch and who we stay away from. Because if you don't think like I do Christianly about the gospel, about this moral thing, then they feel uncomfortable in their skin as if they're displeasing God. When it's God who establishes principles like Romans 13, who says, you know, these persons in leadership and government are his ministers. And it seems to be the backdrop is that they're not Christians either. So God himself is using non-Christians to do good in the world. So if he's okay with that, we should be okay engaging them, being for the good in the world that's not gospel. In that immediate situation for the world. Like we should sort of catch our cue from his sentiment in that regard. And then we can probably better navigate our differences with the world by realizing, oh, God ain't tripping off that. I can sleep good tonight. I don't have to have a troubled conscience. Because, you know, I went to this Black Lives Matter protest as a Republican Trump supporter. But I did acknowledge that killing of this person was wrong. Right. So that may contradict your framework of policy. But there's something universal about it that doesn't threaten your connection to Christ either. And you see that complexity can exist in you in a way that doesn't threaten your being in Christ. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's sort of the ebb and flow of understanding God better, understanding his book better, and then
how to engage. How do I engage with the world now, with people? I think about like I just think about like how it is. And it's like, let's just say I keep going back to this mask because the mask wearing thing is just
it's a thing. It's a thing, bro.
But if to your point, the people who don't wear masks, they oftentimes are wearing these.
Like us right now. we them, bro.
We wore it in Walmart.
You gotta wear that mug in Walmart. They gonna kick you out. You don't wear that mug in Walmart. But go ahead.
But the non-mask wearers are kind of wearing these badges that literally say, for religious reasons.
True.
Like, I don't wear my mask for religious reasons. See, that's immediately there's an intention there that first of all, you're rooting it in something that you believe is going to, that you can use and manipulate to like use and manipulate to like take the teeth out of accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, God said it. You know what I'm saying? God said don't wear the mask. You know what I'm saying? Who is anybody in this room to challenge
you're right.
my religious conviction concerning this mask? You see, which brings me to my the next thing I would say, so the first thing I would say is that I think it takes conversation without conversion. Listen, if I'm sitting on a plane with somebody who watches Fox News all day and I watch CNN all day, it's not my job to try to convert them over to a liberal, democratic way of thinking.
Right.
I think we can have healthy dialogue without the goal being I need to bring them to my side. That's one. So conversation without conversion. But the second thing I would say is learning to take concessions. How do we live with our deepest differences? I think we have to learn how to take concessions. Like,
break that down.
Huh?
Break that down.
Yeah. In other words, what I mean is, I waive my rights here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, here's the thing. I don't believe I need to wear a mask. I don't believe the coronavirus exists. Let's just say for the person who holds fastly to that.
Yeah.
The coronavirus is nothing more than the common flu.
Yeah.
No worse than the common cold. You feel me? If I get it, I get it.
Yeah.
I won't even mind transmitting it to my family based on how I understand it.
Yeah.
For that person, and living in a world where people have a lot of fears around this coronavirus, who view it radically differently than they do, who do see it as a threat to, like, as fatal and not just see what like, if I know that I'm walking into a supermarket where the majority of the people in there, even if it's just 50% of them, feel this way, guess what I do? I take a concession. I waive my rights to do what I'm personally convicted about for the sake of, doing something that would make the other person comfortable.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that's what Paul the Apostle says. Consider others as higher than yourself.
Yeah, true.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I waive my right here. Listen, I know what I think. I know what I feel. Here's what my convictions are. But for the sake of this person, making sure this person feels comfortable when they're around me, I'll wear a mask.
Yeah.
What's the harm in it?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's a good principle.
So I think learning to take concessions. If everybody thought this way, everybody who, let's just say, was more on the conspiracy theorist side of things, everybody who just, had, they disagree primarily in all things concerning mainstream media. Yeah. But if we all felt and thought this way, I think that would really create a social harmony. Yeah. That, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think what you're saying is good, because you have to learn how to pull out of the pages of the scriptures where those principles are. Yeah. Because the confusion is that contradicts the nature of Christianity. If I'm narrowing this down again, because I think the default mindset of the Christian is we understand things to be exclusive and black and white, right? So our gospel is exclusive. There's only one way to the Father, that's through the Son, right? You can't worship multiple gods. So some people say all roads lead to one lake. The Christian message doesn't allow for that. So there's so much black and white that is very uncomfortable to live in the gray. So unless the pastor, the thought leader pulls out the gray, you feel me? Unless we start to pull the gray out of the scriptures, people won't see it, because they'll only gravitate towards the big pillar. You know what I mean? And I think once we can get to that principle,
that boy, my brother, you got the brain going.
Hey, I'm just saying,
because what that comes down to is, like, but you literally have to be forensic in how you see people. Because if you paint them with the broad stroke of they are Muslim, or therefore we have differences, or they are mask wearers, right? Therefore we have differences, or they are Republican, or they are homosexual. Right. You paint them with that broad stroke, it's over. Yeah, because you can only deal with them on the basis of that category, that label you threw on. Yes. Them. But if you look at people more forensically, I can now pull out what's good about. You see what I'm saying? Yes. What do we say? There's truth in every religion. Yeah. Although every religion is not true. Yeah. But I don't devalue what is true in the religion. Yes. Just because the religion itself is not true. And I think if we deal with people that way. Yes. You see what I mean?
Right. As layered human beings with a life
actually outside of their faith.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like you.
Yeah, like us, like you.
Right.
They want to get in the ice cream aisle too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? Seriously, bro.
With real life pains,
Yes,
and fears and troubles and concerns and ideas and family, and you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro.
And it's like if we can parse people.
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
Bro, if we could, come on, Bishop.
Bing,
if
bang.
we could
Hey.
parse people, bro.
Seriously.
This living with our differences becomes easier.
Yeah.
It's not easy. That's the truth of the matter.
Right.
Because whatever is in our hearts it's crystallized, it's very hard to not allow that to shape and inform everything about how we engage with other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a discipline that's worth, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In employing, or you see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. It'll yield
so
results to make it a bit easier.
Yes.
Than not
Yes.
applying those principles. Yeah, that's good, man.
So right, bro. Living with our deepest differences, bro.
That's good. Make sure you hit that notification bell after you subscribe. You don't want to miss this complicated-ish